Hello students, this is Dr. Rajneesh Kumar. Again in front of you with another lectures on structure and uses of acetone, chloral hydrates and hexamines, very important molecules. So, in our previous lecture we have covered structure and use of formaldehyde and paraldehydes. We have also covered about the carbonyl compounds, introduction, reactions, nucleophilic addition reactions. Then we have also covered some important name reaction as per our syllabus. For example, Perkin condensation reaction, benzoin condensation reaction, aldol, cross aldol, Cannizzaro, cross Cannizzaro. So, in continuation of those lectures, I just want to start today's topics as per your syllabus. So, without wasting any time, I am just coming to the topic that is structure and use of acetone, chloral hydrate and the hexamine. So, we will discuss one by one those topics. So, first of all acetone. So, acetone you have all known about the acetone. It is widely used in the organic chemistry lab, in the medicinal chemistry lab as a solvent. So, you have also familiar with the structure and the molecular formula of the acetone, I expect, I hope. So, acetone, which is also known as propanone or dimethyl ketone, is an organic compound with the formula that is CH3 का whole twice CO, and the structure is CH3 CO CH3. This is CH3. You are well aware of that. You can analyze the structure of acetone little bit in depth by the structure I have provided in the slide. So, you can see that there is a 116-degree angle in between that two carbon, that double bond in between oxygen and carbon, then there is a bond in between hydrogen and carbon, and difference as well as angle is being provided in the structure. So, you can deeply analyze the structure in your minds. Now, coming to the topic, that is acetone. So, as I told you, it is also known as propanone or dimethyl ketone. Okay. Structure you are seeing, it is simplest and smallest ketone. Okay. Just remember, when we were talking about the formaldehyde, I have told you that is small, it is the simplest aldehyde. So, likewise, acetone is the simplest and the smallest ketone. It is a colorless, highly volatile and inflammable liquid with a characteristic pungent odor. If you forgotten to cap the bottle of acetone, after a few minutes you will find that there is no acetone remain in the bottle. So, very volatile nature it is having. So, acetone was first produced by Andrews Libavius in 1606. So, it was discovered long ago, and he used distillation of lead acetate to prepare the acetone. In 1832, French chemist known as Jean Baptiste Dumas and German chemist Justus von Liebig determined the empirical formula for the acetone. So, Liebig, as I told you, is also contribute in the discovery of paraldehydes. Okay. So, just remember, it is also having contribution in the synthesis of or in the preparation of acetone. He determined the empirical formula of the acetone this time. In 1833, the French chemist Antonio Bussy named acetone by adding the suffix "on" to the stem of the corresponding acid, for example, acetic acid. So, French chemist Antonio Bussy was responsible for the naming of acetone as acetone. Now, in 1852, English chemist known as Alexander Williamsons realized that acetone was methyl acetyl. The following year, the French chemist Charles Frederick Gerhardt concurred. In 1865, the German chemist Auguste Kekulé, which is also having very important role in the benzene structure. So, in 1865, Kekulé published the modern structural formula for the acetone. So, you can see that Kekulé loves the drawing structure of the chemical entities. He proposed the structure of benzene also again in the you can say approximately the same time. He also proposed the structural formula for the acetone. Then John Joseph Lostmit has presented the structure of acetone in 1861, but his privately published booklet received little attention. So, he should have more credit to his name, but because his private published book received little attention. So, John Joseph Lostmit lost some credit in his name. Then come to the uses of acetone. It is used as a solvent, as you are all aware of. It is a widely used solvent in the organic chemistry lab or the medicinal chemistry lab or the biochemistry lab for different purposes. So, it is useful as solvent for the synthetic fibers and the plastics. It is used as precursor for methacrylate. It is used to prepare metal before the painting. Then it is used in pharmaceutical industries in some drugs. It is volatile and hence used in the laboratory to rinse the lab glassware, very important. When we are going for the preparation of some medicinal agent in our medicinal chemistry lab, we use acetone to rinse our glassware to remove any impurities present on the glassware. It is also used as a drying agent. It is used in the defatting process. Then it is also have use in cosmetics such as nail polish remover. It is also used in the treatment of acne. So, acetone, as you can see, have variety of uses in industry as well as in our chemistry laboratory. There are some health hazards related to the acetone which we should have taken care of. First of all, it is highly flammable, okay, but is generally recognized to have low acute and chronic toxicity. If inhaled, acetone could cause sore throats or cough. So, it should be handled carefully in lab to prevent the health issue like sore throats. Breathing moderate to high amounts of acetone for a short amount of time can irritate your nose, throat, lungs and eyes, and if this condition persists, it may lead to the inflammation of those organs. So, it should be, again I am repeating, it should be handled carefully. It can also cause headache, dizziness, confusion, a faster pulse, nausea, vomiting, effects on the blood, passing out and possible coma, and a shorter menstrual cycle in women when it comes in continuous contact. Okay. It may absorb from the skin and may cause these adverse effect in our body. So, whenever you are going to use acetone, please use responsibly, please use as per the standard protocols established related to the acetone, otherwise it may cause problems to your health. Now, coming to the next important molecule, that is chloral hydrate. The structure of the chloral hydrate you can see on the PPT. It is having 3 chlorine atoms and 2 hydroxy atom. Okay. So, 3 chlorine, so chloral, and through hydroxy is hydrate. So, chloral hydrate is a geminal diol with the formula C2H3Cl3O2. The IUPAC name of the chloral hydrate is 2,2,2 trichloro-1,1-diol. So, 1 carbon and 2 carbon, 2,2,2 trichloro-1,1-diol. It is again a colorless solid material. It was discovered in 1832 by Justus von Liebig. Again Liebig is responsible, you can in Gibbon, when a chlorination reaction was performed on ethanol. Its sedative properties was observed by Rudolf Buchins in 1861, but only described in detail and published by Oscar Liebrich in 1869. Subsequently, because of its easy synthesis. Okay. So, many scientists were involved in the synthesis of chloral hydrate as well as in its structural elucidation. Now, it has limited use as sedative in hypnotics as pharmaceutical drugs. It is also useful in laboratory as a chemical reagents and precursor. It is derived from chloral, that is trichloroacetaldehyde, by the addition of one equivalent of water. So, trichloroacetaldehyde is when reacted with one molecule of water, we will have chloral hydrate as a product. Chloral hydrate is soluble in both water and ethanol, readily forming concentrated solution. A solution of chloral hydrate in ethanol called knockout drops was used to prepare a micrifin. Other use of chloral hydrate includes as a cleansing agents for chitin and fibers. So, again one more important molecules as chloral hydrate in front of you, which are having many you can say utilities in our labs as well as in our health. Then the next important you can say use of chloral hydrate is as important ingredients in Hoyer's mounting mediums, which is used to prepare permanent or semi permanent microscope slides of small organism histological sections and the chromosome sequences. So, if you went on pharmacognosy lab or botany lab, you have prepared some slides, microscopic slides, and those slides you used chloral hydrate as ingredients, okay, as a mounting medium. Okay. So, these are the important use of chloral hydrate. The next important use of chloral hydrate is as hypnotics. Although it is not being approved by the FDA in the United States of America or the EMA in the European Union for any medical indication, and is on the FDA list of unapproved drugs that are still prescribed by the clinician. So, although it is not approved by the United States America and the European countries, but still chloral hydrate is being prescribed by the clinicians as hypnotic drugs. Uses of the drugs as a selective as a sedative or hypnotics may carry some risk given the lack of clinical trials. Okay. So, lot of works are not done on the chloral hydrate. So, for establishing a good medicinal agent, chloral hydrate needs proper clinical trials. However, chloral hydrate products licensed for short-term management of severe insomnia are available in the United Kingdom because of its hypnotics properties. Okay. In organic synthesis, chloral hydrate is a starting point for the synthesis of other organic compounds. It is the starting material for the production of chloral, which is produced by the distillation of mixture of chloral hydrate and the sulfuric acid, which serve as the desiccants. Notably, it is used to synthesize acetone, very important molecule. In this synthesis, chloral and hydrate reacts with the aniline and hydroxylamine to give a condensation product which cyclize in sulfuric acid to give a target compounds. Okay. The synthesis we can see in the slide. This is aniline, aniline is reacting with the hydroxylamine and we are getting the desired compounds used as reagent for the deprotection of acetals. So, it can also be used as a protecting groups for acetals. Okay. Thioacetals and tetrahydropyrenyl ethers in organic solvents. So, I mean to say that for a organic chemist, this particular use of chloral hydrate is having very much importance as a protecting groups. Okay. So, now coming to the next compounds of our syllabus, that is hexamine. So, the structure you can see on the slides. It is also known as methenamine. You can see hexamine is also known as methenamine, hexamethylene, tetramine or urotropin is a heterocyclic organic compounds with the formula CH2 का whole 6 and 4. Its IUPAC name is 1357 tetraadamantine. This is a white crystalline solid compound, is highly soluble in water and polar organic solvent. It has a cage like structure as you can see in the picture, similar to adamantane. It is also useful in the synthesis of other organic compounds including plastics, pharmaceuticals and rubber additives. Okay. It sublimes in vacuum at 280 degrees centigrade. So, very important and very important to remember the structure of hexamine. How can you remember? Just like this. First of all, you can see it is a 6 member ring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, this is a 6 member ring, then again one more ring is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6. So, these nitrogens, these two nitrogens are now joined together by means of CH2N and CH2. Then again this nitrogen and nitrogen is again added joined together by means of CH2N and CH2. So, this is a cage like structure. Now, the dominant use of hexamethylene tetramine is in the production of powdery or liquid preparation of phenolic resins and phenolic resins molding compounds, where it is added as hardening component. So, it provides hardness to that resins. These products are used as binders, for example, in brake or clutch lining, abrasive products, non-woven textiles, form parts produced by the molding process and fireproof material. So, very important molecules. It provides strength to the resins, phenolic resins especially. Because of that strength, those phenolic resins can be used in different equipments. In automobiles, it is used in brake or clutch linings as a abrasive product they are using, non-woven textiles they are using, and so many uses as you can see on the slide. Then it is also used for the treatment of urinary tract infection as the mandelic acid salts, that is methenamine mandellate or the hippuric acid salts, for example, methenamine hippurate. So, UTI, which is a very common you can say problems in women especially. So, it is used for the treatment of UTI in combination of, or you can say in salt form, salt of mandelic acid as methenamine mandellate and salt of hippuric acid as methenamine hippurate. So, these two molecules are very important for the treatment of UTI, which is very common problems of the women. In an acidic environment, methenamine is believed to act as antimicrobial by converting to formaldehyde. So, it is also having some antimicrobial properties depending if we provide the acidic medium. Okay. In that particular acidic medium, it is converted into the formaldehyde Okay, after the conversion of formaldehyde, and you know that formaldehyde is a very good antimicrobial agents. Just remember the previous lecture which where I have told you the applications of formaldehyde. I have told you that formaldehyde is a very good antimicrobial agents. Molecular formaldehyde when added to the animal feeds, it can prevent the salmonella for 21 days. Okay. So, hexamine or you can say methenamine is converted into the formaldehyde in acidic medium, and after that conversion it will provide the antimicrobial effect. Okay. So, before completing the lecture, I just want to remind you some important point about the acetone. This is so health hazards. Okay. So, acetone is highly inflammable as I told you, generally recognized to have a low acute and chronic toxicity. If it inhaled by the human beings, it can cause inflammation in throats or can produce the cough. If any human beings breathe moderate or to high amount of the acetone, it can cause irritation of the neck or nose, which ultimately leads to the inflammation, which may cause severe damage of the epithelial tissue inside the nose, lungs or eyes. Okay. So, very important. I just want to tell you that whenever you use acetone related compounds, as it is having a very you can say um, hazardous effect on the body tissue, it should be used as per the standard protocols related to the acetone. So, in another adverse effect, it can cause headache, dizziness, vomiting, confusing. It can cause increase the pulse also, then it can cause you can say blood pressure. So, a lot of adverse effects are there related to the acetone. Precaution must be taken care whenever acetone is being used in the laboratory to perform some experiments or in industry. If it is being used by women constantly, it may cause you can say shorter menstrual cycle and that particular woman. So, again I am just cautioning that it should be used in standard protocols in laboratory whenever you are going for a synthesis of some other chemical entities by the help of acetone, or if you are using acetone as a solvent also. It is also very volatile in nature. So, storage should also be done with proper care. The bottle or the you can say the container which contain the acetone should be kept carefully, otherwise within few minutes acetone will be evaporated and you will find nothing in your container. It is costly products. Okay. When talk about the chloral hydrate, so very simple molecule, as you can see 3 chlorine molecule is there and 2 hydroxyl group is there. So, it is 2 trichloro you can say trichloroethane 1 diol, as 2 hydroxyl group present on first carbon and 3 chlorine is present on the second carbon. So, 2 carbon is there, ethane is there and 2 trichloro 1 dihydroxyl, or you can say trichloroethane 1 diol. Colorless solid hai. Again very important molecule, I have told you. It is used as a sedative and hypnotics. Because of that properties can also be used in some CNS disorders. For example, when we are talking about the paraldehydes, because paraldehyde is also having some sedative and hypnotics properties, that particular molecules was useful in the treatment of epilepsy, or you can say it provide protection against the seizures. So, like chloral hydrate is also used as sedatives and hypnotics till now. the use of chlorohydrate is not being established in most of the countries of the world, but it needs more clinical trials to get approved as a good sedative hypnotic drugs. Although some clinicians are regularly use chlorohydrate. Then coming to the hexamine, also known as methamines, hexamethyl you can say hexamethylene tetramines or erotropin, it is a synonyms of the hexamines, cyclic cage like structure it is having, and it is being used as additives in most of the organic reactions. It provides strength to most to many polymers like phenol resins and urea resins. Okay. So, because of the strength it is provided to those molecules, it can also be used in that particular polymers to prepare break and clinch cleavage linings. Then abrasive products can also be formed by the help of hexamines, non-woven textiles can also be formed. So, these are all the example of hexamines, acetones and chloral hydrates. So, dear students, I hope that this particular lecture will be very helpful for you all. So, thank you so much. We will meet in the next lecture with some another important topic. So, thank you so much.